Welcome back, everybody. We're going to take another deep dive into the Onyx Storm excerpt.
Yeah.
And I got to say, there's a lot to unpack.
A lot to unpack.
I mean, we've got Venom disguised as prison breaks, and honestly, more silver hair than I can handle.
It's true.
What really jumped out at you?
I think for me, it was the Venom infiltration of Bezgoth.
Hmm.
I mean, that's truly chilling. It really flips the script. We think about the Venom lurking in the shadows,
Right.
but now we know they've been inside Bezgoth possibly for months disguised as scribes. It makes you question the security of Navarre as a whole, not to mention the potential for sabotage.
It really is like thinking about termites, eating away at the foundation of your house, and you had no idea.
Exactly.
And it really makes you think, how did they get in? Like, did they slip in during the battle when everything was chaotic?
It's possible.
Or have they been hiding in plain sight this whole time, maybe using those archives as their own little personal lair?
Right, because the excerpt doesn't give us any concrete answers.
Right.
And that's what's so unsettling about it.
Totally.
It creates this atmosphere of paranoia where you start to question everyone's motives.
Oh, for sure.
And you have to remember, Bezgoth is supposed to be the most secure location in all of Navarre.
Exactly.
So if they can breach Bezgoth, where does that leave the rest of the kingdom?
Right. Like the illusion of safety is gone.
It really is.
And it makes the stakes going into Onyx Storm so much higher.
Definitely.
Because we know the Venom, they're after Jack Barlow.
Yeah.
But the big question, why? What makes him so important to their plans?
That is the question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, a popular theory is that his, unhinged nature makes him really valuable to the Venom.
Right.
They could see him as a wild card.
Yeah.
Someone they can manipulate.
Oh, yeah.
So chaos and disruption from within Navarre.
That's a good point because he's so unpredictable.
Exactly.
But I'm wondering, is there more to it?
Oh, I think so.
Could he have some kind of unique knowledge or an ability that the Venom need? I mean, we know he's connected to the source.
Oh.
His power, it always seemed different to me.
It does.
It's wilder than the other students' powers.
I agree with that. I think that's a very good point. We haven't seen the full extent of his abilities.
We haven't.
So the Venom, they might know something that we don't. What if they're not just trying to rescue him?
What if they're trying to control him?
Exactly. Like to unleash his power for their own purposes?
Oh, that's a scary thought.
It is a scary thought.
Okay, we've got to talk about the silver hair.
Oh, yes, the silver hair.
I feel like at this point, the Venom must have some serious loyalty program going on at like a hair dye store.
Maybe they do.
But seriously, what is it about this silver hair? Why does it keep popping up?
Well, the excerpt doesn't exactly state the connection.
Right.
But it really implies that the silver hair is tied to a specific type of Venom power or even a lineage. Violet, Felix, and Sue, they all have silver hair.
They do.
And they're all connected to the Venom in these different ways.
Right.
Now we have this mysterious, powerful figure in the excerpt. Same silver hair.
It can't just be a coincidence.
I don't think so. I really don't think so. Yeah. Especially when you consider how this silver-haired Venom interacts with Violet.
That smirk. Oh my gosh.
Right?
Like she knows something. She recognizes Violet on like a deeper level.
It's like she's in on a secret that we don't know yet.
Totally.
Ugh.
It's so frustrating that the excerpt just drops these little hints and leaves us hanging.
It is.
But before we go completely down the rabbit hole of conspiracy theories,
okay,
let's talk about Xaden.
Yes.
He finally shows up, but it's not exactly the reunion that I was hoping for.
I don't know. It's not the happy reunion that we wanted.
No.
But on one hand, we do see this incredible display of power from him. His shadows are even stronger now.
Yeah.
It's almost as if being Venom has amplified his abilities.
That's crazy.
It is a little crazy. But on the other hand,
yeah,
Violet can't get through his mental shields anymore.
Oh.
There's this distance, this barrier that wasn't there before.
And it really makes you wonder, is he doing that on purpose? Is that intentional?
Right. Is he trying to protect himself?
Yeah.
Or is he pushing Violet away for some other reason?
Or is it something else entirely?
It's possible. I mean, we have to think about it. Becoming Venom is a traumatic experience. He's grappling with a whole new reality, a darkness that he never asked for.
That's true.
So maybe these shields are his way of coping.
Wow.
Of trying to maintain some control over this new nature of his.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And we can't forget the timing of it all. He shows up just in time to rescue Violet and her friends.
That's true.
So is he monitoring them? Is he like their guardian angels or something.
It certainly seems that way, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But we have to remember Xaden is Venom now.
Right.
His motivations and allegiances, they might have shifted.
Yeah.
Is he truly trying to help Violet? Or is he working towards some larger, more sinister goal?
Ugh. I don't know, but I have a bad feeling about this.
We'll have to wait and see. Yeah, it's like he's caught between these two worlds, his past with Violet and his present as a Venom.
Mm-hmm.
And it's that tension, that internal conflict that makes Xaden such a fascinating character.
Right.
He's not just a villain,
Right.
He's complex. He's an individual that's wrestling with these forces that are beyond his control.
And you have to think about Violet and how his transformation is going to affect her.
Exactly.
I mean, she's always been so independent, so determined to kind of forge her own path.
Right.
But now the guy she loves is literally the enemy.
I know.
How can their relationship survive that?
That's the big question, isn't it?
It is.
Can love really conquer even the darkness that comes with being Venom? Or will Xaden's transformation ultimately push them apart?
Oh, please no.
Creating that Romeo and Juliet scenario where their love is doomed from the start.
That's too tragic, even for this series.
I know.
Okay, speaking of tragic,
Yes.
let's circle back to those theories about the silver-haired Venin, because I'm dying to hear what you make of all of them.
All right, well, the time travel theory, that's definitely a popular one.
It is.
This idea that this mysterious silver-haired figure is Violet from the future,
Right.
corrupted by the darkness, and maybe even responsible for some of the horrific events that we've seen.
It just blows my mind.
I know. It's a wild theory.
But wouldn't future Violet want to change things?
Possibly.
To prevent that tragedy from happening?
You would think so.
Unless she's the one who orchestrates it all.
Oh.
What if she's become so obsessed with power
Right.
that she's willing to sacrifice everything, even her past self, to achieve her goals?
That's a chilling thought.
It is.
It adds a whole new layer of complexity to the story, and
Yeah.
it kind of turns Violet into a potential antagonist,
Right.
a threat to herself and everyone she cares about.
That would be such a bold move by the author.
It would be.
But it would make this story even more unpredictable.
Oh, for sure.
Okay, so time travel is one possibility. What about the long-lost relative theory?
Ooh.
Could this silver-haired Venin be Violet's mother or an aunt or a grandmother, who turned Venin generations ago?
It's definitely plausible.
Yeah,
We don't know much about Violet's family history at this point.
that's true.
So it is possible that there's a hidden lineage,
Okay.
a secret connection to the Venom that she just hasn't uncovered yet.
Oh my God.
Imagine if she finds out that her own bloodline is intertwined with the enemy she's been fighting against this whole time.
That would be an awkward family reunion.
It would be.
But talk about an epic plot twist.
It would be a good one.
It would. And it could explain why this silver-haired Venin, seems to recognize Violet, why she has that knowing smirk.
Definitely. It would add fuel to the fire of their conflict,
Right.
creating a deeply personal vendetta
Yeah.
that goes beyond just the war between Navarre and the Venom.
Absolutely. Okay, one last theory.
Okay.
What if this silver-haired Venin is someone totally new?
Mm.
A character we haven't even met yet.
Oh.
Like maybe she's a powerful Venin leader who's been operating from the shadows this whole time,
Right.
pulling the strings and orchestrating all of this chaos.
Yeah, I like that theory a lot, actually, because it would introduce a whole new dynamic to the story.
Right.
A new antagonist with their own motivations and their own agendas.
You could even shift the power balance
Absolutely.
within the Venin ranks.
Right.
Creating these factions and these rivalries that maybe Violet could use to her advantage.
I think you're onto something.
Oh, I hope so.
And let's not forget the detail about the ruby-hilted sword.
Oh, yeah. Good point.
From previous books, gems can amplify magic, especially Venom magic.
Yeah.
So could this sword be a key to understanding Venom powers,
Mhm.
or even a way to combat them?
Ooh, I love that.
Yeah.
It's like a hidden weapon just waiting to be discovered.
It is, and it's exciting.
And you know how there have been those whispers about this lost magic system?
Yes.
Something ancient and powerful that predates even the dragons.
Right.
What if the Venin are trying to tap into that power?
Oh.
To use it for their own evil purposes.
It's possible.
It's terrifying.
It is terrifying.
Okay, let's shift gears for a second
Oh.
and talk about Xaden's actions in this excerpt.
All right.
I mean, he eliminates that Venin threat with terrifying efficiency.
He does.
He's clearly powerful.
Mm-hmm.
But what's interesting to me is his choice of weapon. He uses alloy-hilted daggers.
You're really picking up on the details.
Well, I tried.
That's what makes this excerpt so rich. It's not just about the action, it's about the choices that characters make.
Right.
The subtle clues that reveal their inner thoughts and their motivations.
Exactly. And Xaden using alloy daggers to kill other Venen, that's a big red flag to me.
It is suspicious.
We know that alloy, it disrupts magic.
Yes.
Especially Venin magic.
Right.
So why would he choose those weapons unless he was specifically trying to neutralize his own kind?
It suggests he's got a plan.
Right.
A deliberate strategy to weaken or eliminate other Venin.
Like he's preparing for a future where he might have to confront them.
That's a good point. You know, it's almost as if he's preparing for a future where he has to confront his former allies.
Right.
Or even turn against the very power that now flows through him.
And remember how the excerpt described his eyes?
Yes.
Gold-flecked onyx with no rim of red.
I do remember that detail.
Does that mean he hasn't been draining?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Is he actively resisting that urge?
Right.
Yeah.
Is he trying to hold on to his humanity?
Yeah.
I mean, the excerpt doesn't give us a definitive answer.
It doesn't.
But the absence of that red ring suggests that he is fighting against those darker impulses that come with being Venin. It shows a remarkable amount of willpower.
Especially considering how much more powerful he is now.
Exactly.
But for how long can he resist?
That's what I want to know.
I know.
You know, the temptation must be immense.
Oh, yeah, especially in the heat of battle.
Respect.
And what happens if he gives in?
Right.
Like, will he lose himself completely?
That's the fear, isn't it?
It is.
That the darkness will consume him.
Yeah.
And turn him into the very monster that he's trying to fight.
It's that classic internal conflict.
It really is.
Good versus evil, light versus darkness.
Yes.
And it's playing out within Xaden in a way that's both terrifying and completely compelling.
I agree. I can't wait to see what happens next.
Yeah, it makes you wonder about, like, the cost of power. You know, what is Xaden sacrificing to hold on to his humanity?
Right.
What lines is he willing to cross, and can he even win this fight against this darkness inside him?
We don't know. But one thing that really stood out to me about Xaden's appearance was the contrast between, you know, his amplified power and Violet's reaction to him. She's not afraid. She's not angry. You know, there's the sense of relief, almost like she's more concerned about his well-being than the fact that he's Venin.
It's like all that fear and prejudice just melts away when she sees him.
Really good.
And I think it speaks volumes about how deeply connected they are.
I agree.
You know, how much they truly love each other.
Oh.
But it also makes their situation even more heartbreaking.
It does, because how can they possibly build a future together
Right.
when they're literally on opposite sides of this war?
They're standing on opposite sides of a chasm, and it just keeps getting wider and wider.
Yeah. And then there's that final line from Xaden.
Oh, yeah.
Tell me something. Violence. Why is it always you?
Ugh, chills.
Every time.
Every time I read it.
It's such a loaded line.
It is.
There's concern for her safety, for sure.
Yeah.
But I also hear a little bit of frustration.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe even resentment.
Yeah.
You know, it's like he's acknowledging that their paths are intertwined.
Right.
But maybe not in the way they once hoped.
And it just leaves us with so many questions.
So many questions.
About their future. Can their loves survive all of this?
Right.
Can Violet find a way to help Xaden to pull him back from the brink? Or is their relationship just doomed to be another casualty of this war?
I guess we'll have to wait for Onyx Storm to find out.
I know, but this excerpt, it sets the stage for like an epic showdown.
It does.
I mean, you have the Venin infiltration, the mystery of the silver-haired Venin Xaden's internal struggle. It's like all these forces are coming together, creating this perfect storm that's about to be unleashed.
I'm a little scared, but I'm also really excited.
Me too. It's almost overwhelming to think about all the possibilities, you know, all the different ways that this could unfold.
Right.
But one thing is for sure, Rebecca Yarros. She's created this world that is both captivating and terrifying.
She has.
A world where love, magic, and sacrifice, they all collide in this battle for survival.
It's a world that keeps us coming back for more.
It does.
Eager to see what happens next.
Well, this excerpt has definitely left me breathless and desperate for answers.
Me too.
So as we wait for the release of Onyx Storm, let's keep those theories going.
Yes.
Who is this silver-haired Venin? What is Xaden's true agenda? And can Violet and Xaden find a way to bridge that chasm that now separates them?
All good questions.
So share your thoughts, your wildest predictions. Let's unravel these mysteries together. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
See you next time.